And there are several events taking place across the Lowcountry today. Our Sophia Redebal is joining us live from Charleston Southern University, where your stair climb is taking place this morning. Sophia, it's happening behind us, behind you right now. Talk to us about what you're seeing. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Riley and Octavia. Well, like you said, such a somber day here in our country, but this is just one of the ways here in the Lowcountry that we're honoring some of the victims for 9/11 and remembering those first responders who made the ultimate sacrifice. Like you said, you can see it going on behind me. They're climbing 110 flights of stairs, and that's equivalent to over 2,000 steps to symbolize the first responders who climbed up the stairs at the World Trade Center. And with me right now, they pulled away from the stair climb to talk with me this morning. So thanks so much for being here. We have Devin and Jonathan, who are both seniors here at Charleston Southern and a part of the ROTC program. So you guys have done this stair climb every single year since you've been a student. Kind of just tell me about it and why you decided to come out again for another year.
I think the biggest thing is it's most important that you don't forget the things that's happened for you. I mean, I wasn't alive when it happened, but I've seen the impact of it, and that's one of the things that's, driven me, is wanting to be someone that's willing to do anything to put your life on the line for people next to you, and it's going to happen every year. Every year I'm going to be a part of it as best I can. So.
Yeah. What about you, John?
The biggest thing, I was alive when it happened. I saw the fear and the trauma that it caused for America. And so in any sense of showing support for our country and this nation, we're going to do that. So every year that we're here, we're going to continue to honor those that are fallen, those that were first responders that showed up as soon as it happened and tried to make things better. So that's what we want to do.
Yeah, I love that. Well, you said you were alive you weren't alive. Tell me some specifics. What do you remember? How old were you when 9/11 happened?
I believe I was in the 3rd grade when it happened. So it was broadcasted on all the radios, all the TVs. Our schools and things got shut down and we were sent home. I'm from Virginia initially, so the Pentagon and all those things that happened, we were very aware of. As a kid, you don't really understand the gravity of it until you get a little bit older and you're starting to hear all the stories and everything that was happening more in detail. But understanding that was kind of what made me lean towards joining the military, protecting our citizens, entering the fight against those that are foreign and domestic. And it was just a cause I couldn't shake, and I wanted to be a part of it every day of my life from that point on.
Wow, that's so powerful. Well, last question for you guys. Tell me, kind of when you're walking these stairs, what is going through your head? What are you thinking about as, of course, you're climbing the equivalent of what those first responders climbed on 9/11?
It's kind of like what I said before about not wanting to forget and making sure that those around us don't forget either. When I go up those stairs with the people behind us, it's thinking what a leader should be, thinking what a leader is, that's having someone that's got character, having someone that's, again, willing to do anything like that. And I think that, that's what makes a leader and a hero. A leader's willing to do all those things, and the hero's the one that will take that extra step, just like the people that, the coworkers, the first responders, the family members, anybody. You didn't have to wear a uniform, but people were willing to put their lives on the line to help other people get out of that building. People do that all over the world. I think that's it.
Yeah. What are you thinking about when you're climbing?
It's unimaginable, honestly. It's hard to fathom that those first responders, those people that were in the heat of it, had to do that. And just sitting here and kind of going through it kind of shows us just a little bit of the impact and the things that were going through their mind. I can only imagine, right? So just showing up and doing this, I'm thinking about how every single step is important. I don't want to skip a step. I don't want to sit there and try to rush it or go too fast. I want to make sure I honor every single step that they had to take, and that's the approach that I have, and that's the thoughts that's going through my mind.
Wow, so powerful. Well, thank you two so much for being with us today. We'll be here throughout the rest of our morning show, but for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.